Alright, hello again and welcome back to our video series. As promised, in this video we are going to learn about how to draw curves in Illustrator using the pen tool. So far we learned how to draw straight lines, which is through points, and now we're going to draw some curves, okay? And it can be tricky, so let's get into it. So I'm going to use the pen tool again for this, and you know, in our first video we learned that if we click once and click again, Illustrator cleanly will just connect our points using with the pen tool. Okay, so I can escape to drop that. Then we can use our direct selection tool, the white arrow tool, to move those points around and create shapes that we like. Okay, but how do we create curves? That's what we really want to know. So let's get into that a little bit. So to create a curve in Illustrator, you'll click once, click again, and then drag with the mouse still held down. Okay, and a bunch of stuff happens when you do that. The first thing that you find out is that you get these weird handles that stick off the end point of your curve. And these are called IK handles, or they're called control handles. Whatever you want to call them is fine. But what they do is that they affect the projection of the curve that you've drawn. And they can be edited as well, okay? The way that you edit them is with the direct selection tool. So it's the white arrow. If you grab the direct selection tool and go to the end of one of these handles, you can then pull that handle around, and you see what it does. It moves the line into whatever sort of shape that you want. And it has kind of like a magnetic property to it. It has this sort of feel like this point here is pulling on the arc of this curve here. So any which way that you pull that that handle, it will drag the line in that direction. Okay, so whatever sort of shape you're trying to make, the way that you get there is using these handles. Okay, that's just the handle that's sticking out over the line. The next handle that's sticking out past here can also be used to affect the angle and trajectory of the line, but really what this is showing you kind of is what is the angle of this line if it were to extend out into space any further. So if you were to continue drawing off of this point, what is the angle of the line and how would it continue if it were just to go straight? All right, now that maybe doesn't make so much sense, so the way to figure it out is to get in here and to draw some other line work off of this one. So first I'm just going to go like this, and I'm just going to try to set myself up to draw a sort of cool piece of line work for you. So I'm going to grab my pen tool here, and I'm going to go and I'm going to click on the very end point of that line that I've already drawn, and you can see that my pen tool there gets a little slash next to it. Normally it has a asterisk, but so we'll just click on the end of that, and then I'm going to click I don't know where. I'm just going to click anywhere kind of and try to think about what I'm going to do here. So as I click again, you notice that my second click was up here because I've done this for a while, so I know that I'm going to want to pull out this curve and it's going to go in that direction. See, so you have to practice this a lot to kind of get a better feel for where your line is going to go as you click and drag. So first I'm just going to drop it down like that, and then I'll just hit the escape key to drop the connection between the pen tool and that line I've drawn. And so now you can see what I've got. I've got this arc here that goes right here, and then it sharply dives down and loops around like that. And then I've got these giant handles sticking off in both directions, okay? So one of the things that I want to get you to understand is that our goal is always to create really smooth, attractive curves. And this one here, these connection points between this section of the curve and this section of the curve is not a very smooth transition, right? We've got this sharp kind of point up here, and we don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to grab my direct selection tool, and I'm just going to grab the handle here, and I'm just going to bend this tool into shape until it feels like I'm getting a better transition from this line or this section of line to this section of line. Okay, so I want to just maybe grab this handle, and there's really no exact science to this. It's all just trial and error, but I'm sort of using that old artist trick where I sort of squint at this connection point right here to try to get kind of like a generalized viewpoint of it, get a little bit of a secondary opinion on how this is looking. And then I'm just gradually adjusting these handles here until I feel happy with that. And right there looks pretty good. I think, yeah, we're going to go with that. So then I'll just click anywhere on the page, and it'll just let go. Yeah, and I'd say so. So we've got a nice smooth sort of transition here. I mean, I could probably even maybe pull it out a little bit. Nah, that was no good. Let's keep it up and just keep messing with it. See, so these are really little micro adjustments that I'm making to this line work to make for a very smooth transition, okay? And that's kind of the name of the game when it comes to drawing curves in Illustrator, is that, you know, you're going to just sloppily lay down some stuff, and that's fine. That's how we all do it. But then you're going to have to come in here with this direct selection tool, and you're going to have to really adjust on the microscopic level to get these transitions looking very smooth and sleek. So let me grab my pen tool again, and I'm just going to connect another little curve here. Now what I want, let's talk about what I want first. So I want this line to kind of come up here, and then I want it to loop around here, and then I want it to go up here, and then I'm going to kind of swing it out that way. I mean, I don't know why, but that's what I want. So I'm going to click here. So if I want to get a line that's going to arc around like this, well then I know that I'm going to want to click here and drag out, and it's going to shoot a curve out from here that's going to arc like that. So I'm going to go here, click once, and then I'll click again. Looks like I'm going to draw a straight line, but then I drag. There we go. And as I drag, I'm really watching this connection point between the new section that I'm drawing and the old section that I have. So that way, when I drop this tool finally, right now I've got my mouse clicked and I'm holding it down, and I'm getting this preview of the way my line is going to go. This way, as I watch the way these two sections of line meet up, I can kind of get like a little preview of how they're going to meet up with each other. And the closer I can get it the first time around, then the less editing and adjustment I'll have to do in the future. Okay, so I think right about there looks really good. And then notice another thing where I drop this curve, the handle for this next edit point is right where my mouse is. See, so that was what I was telling you before about there's this handle here that's kind of magnetic, and it's pulling this curve out in this direction. And then there's this other handle on this side, which is showing you the trajectory of your curve if it were to continue straight out into space, right? So as I go here, I'm just going to continue around, and I'm just going to probably click here. I like that, and then I'm going to go again like this. All right, and then I'm just gonna go, let's see, let's just go like maybe like this and like that. Boom. Click and drag every time. I'll hit escape, and then I'll just grab my direct selection tool, and I'll just click like that. So there we go. So we've got a fun little curve there. Most of the transitions between all the points of this curve that I've drawn are pretty smooth, and that's because I was using the preview that I was getting to line up the sections of line work. There's a little bit of a hiccup here, and so I'll just smooth that one out. I'll just grab my direct selection tool, I'll click on the line, and then I'll just probably play with it a little bit. Now there's something to remember here. Since this section of line has two transition points, one here and one here, I have to pay attention to both as I adjust. But see, and also there's a springiness. As I adjust this line, it also pulls this line. So now I have to kind of think about the transition between this section as well. So you have to just play with these tools and get used to them. I think, let's see, just about like that seems good to me. There we go. Yeah, that's a pretty smooth thing. Let's just get in here. Maybe I want to actually adjust this last one to avoid any trouble. There we go. Something like that. There we go. All right, so that's a nice smooth line, and I think I can be happy with that across the board. So there we go. So this is drawing curves in Illustrator. There's only a few tools that it takes to get it done. It's the pen tool in combination with the selection tool and the direct selection tool. And it's just a matter of clicking down points similar to drawing straight lines in the program, and then using your direct selection tool to edit the points that are connecting the sections of the line. And this is something that should take you quite a while to master, and it will probably be a little bit frustrating. To lay down a line like this with a pencil on a piece of paper would take you seconds, but to get this right in Illustrator, well, as you can see in this tutorial video, which is now a little bit longer than I was hoping, it does take a little bit of finesse to get it right. So just be aware that you're going to need to spend some time on your line work and get into it. So there we go. All right, so anyway, drawing curves in Illustrator, we're all set. Give it a shot, spend some time on it, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to start to use the shape tool. We're going to start to play around with the pathfinder, combining shapes together, and eventually we're going to get into the outline mode, which is going to give us a little bit better indication as to how this vector line work that we're drawing actually can drive the laser cutter machines in the prototyping studio. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.